Hi, are you sitting comfortably? Mm, yes, I think you are. So, for a change, after a long, long time, we have sunshine. It's just been raining for about 1.5 months now. Just been raining, and I'm loving it. So, I was traveling a bit, and I thought of film, fil, 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 filming this filming this now because while I was traveling I carried 3 4 books. I was traveling only for the weekend, but like always I was carrying sorry 3 4 books because I thought, what if I finish the books, or what if I start a new book and I don't like it, then what will I read? So I always carry extra books with me. If you've been here on a book video of mine ever before. So I was carrying 3 4 books, and the one book that I started and finished in the one day that I was there. First, I'll show you which 2 books I was carrying. So I was carrying this. This is Friends, Lovers, and the Big Terrible Thing by Matthew Perry. If you have seen the series Friends, which I have not, by the way, obviously you will know that this person plays the character of Chandler Bing, and apparently he's a much loved character. All of them are, I guess. They are cult characters. So yeah, I haven't watched Friends, but I have watched him in a lot of movies and I really like him. And the other book that I was carrying is this, Shy by Max Porter. Now, Stubborn Horse, you introduced me to Max Porter, and I have to thank you for that. I've loved all the books that I've read. I can't say all because I've read only one of Max Porter's book, which is Lanny. This is the second Max Porter book that I've finished. It's called Shy, and I loved it. Honestly, I finished Shy very fast. I finished it within 2 hours. That too, not at a stretch, but I was doing something here and there, and I finished it, and I loved it. So the one book that I finished in one day was this one by Matthew Perry. This is Friends, Lovers, and the Big Terrible Thing. Friends, of course, the series Friends. The significance of the title is Friends, the series, which he is most popularly known as, playing the character in. His real friends in his real life, because when you're very famous, you tend to have very, very few limited real friends, and mostly others are there latching onto you for other purposes. Lovers, he's had a string of failed relationships, and for that he blames no one but himself. And the big terrible thing, which is addiction. Now, Matthew Perry talks about, I have to tell you, this is one of the most brutally honest memoirs I have ever read, ever. And I have read a lot of memoirs and biographies, but this is one of the most brutally honest one that I have ever read. It takes so much courage for someone to talk about your negatives, talk about what's wrong with you, talk about the mistakes you've made in life and how you've let people down, how you've constantly pushed people away from your life, the wrong choices you made. This book this book talks about so much. Now, this book definitely talks about his addiction, his medical addiction, his substance addiction. And in a way, if you have ever seen someone who has addiction or who has suffered through addiction, or if you have ever been addicted to something, whether small or big, you would very, very much relate to this book. And even if you've never been addicted in your life, or don't know anybody who's been addicted, thankfully, even then you would relate to this book, because this book tells you about the mental and neurological process of addiction, and why it is difficult for certain people to give up certain things, and why it is actually a kind of disease which we need to take care of. Now, this book talks a lot about medical addiction, and to be very honest, I realized and I know for a fact that I suffer from medical addiction, and I have done a couple, not a couple, but quite a lot of very wrong, bad things, wrong things, and I'm still doing them because I am trying to fight off my medical addiction. Why? The reason I'm calling this a medical addiction is that I have an addiction towards prescription medicines, and I'm struggling a lot with that. So that I'll tell you some other day, because that is a different story and I should not take away from Matthew Perry's story. But I will definitely talk about my addiction. It's not substance abuse, but it's medical abuse, and it's wrong. I'm really trying hard, but it's not happening. So this book has it's about this thick. It's hardback, and it has a lot of pictures. Let me see. See, a lot of cute family pictures from when he's growing up. It explores the themes of depression, family, loneliness, struggles, mental health, the strength of friendship, um, low self esteem, low self worth, uh, less self respect, hard work, torturous trials, confusion, desperation, and wanting to quit, trying everything and seeking out and crying out for help but not getting it, and not being able to make it through. Now I think Matthew Perry is, I think, in his middle or late 50s now. This cover is pretty old. If you Google his image now, it's very different from this. This is a very old image that has been used. Even though the book came out very recently, I think, yeah, the book came out last year, but this is not how he looks like. He looks much older, way heavier, and obviously that's one of the reasons. One of the reasons why that is because he has been suffering through a lot. He's had more than 14 surgeries. He's been in and out of rehab about some 40 or 50 or 80 times, I think. So a lot is going on in his life, and this book also talks about how you cannot judge people from the look of it. You really need to understand somebody, and sorry about that. You really need to understand people and understand what they're actually going through, and only then can you even start to decode what's going on. So this book teaches a lot. If you have this book anywhere at a bookstore near you, or if you find it online, I would really suggest that you read it. Whatever your relationship with substances, whatever your relationship with alcohol or with medicines, this book also really talks about issues that are very, very relevant in today's time, and very relevant for those who are either growing up or feel lonely, or who somewhere think that they're not fitting in well with society, or they are social outcasts, or they're struggling very hard, or just if you don't even feel any of these things, I would still suggest that you give it a try. You'll really like it. You'll really like it. And if you've already read it, let me know. But if you're thinking of reading it, you can let me know in the comments whether you will give it a shot or not. I have to go somewhere, and so I need to be leaving. But yeah, I read this book and somehow I connected the dots, and I realized that I really need to work harder on myself. And I will talk about my medical addiction soon, one day, soon. I am, I think, brave enough to talk about it. I mean, it's something that I'm struggling with, but I don't mind sharing it. You all have given me a very positive and healthy environment and space here. I can be very open with you all and talk about it here. So I will talk about it. Yeah, then you can. I know you will not judge me, but I know that you will truly, truly try to help me, or tell me that it's going to get better. It will get better. I will ensure it gets better. It has to get better, because then I'll get better. So yeah, thank you so much for this, and I truly, truly recommend this book. And yes, next up, in the next video, I will talk about Shy by Max Potter, and I'll also do a small book haul, not really that small, but sorry, I was getting a call, but I'll show you a few of the books I recently bought, so you get an idea of what I'm reading, and I can give you some more reviews if you're interested in the books. So yeah, take care. Bye.